What's up, all you stars and studs? This is former WWE Diva and current First Lady of Ring of Honor, Maria Kanellis, and you are listening to WNS Podcast.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
We welcome you to episode 191 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all the information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WSND, on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast. Podcast.
We're also on Stitcher, Player.fm, and Beyond Pod. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Sure hope no one was trying to find us anywhere on the internet.
They don't find us.
They're not
Find
gonna know now. Yeah, on Twitter, we're at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel, and Tyler's at Tyler_Aber.
We're also on Twitch. Find us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/WNS Podcast as well. So
We're on Bitch.
we're all over the place. So worldwide,
We're
if
on
you
Zeus?
will. So welcome. No, we're not on Zeus. So welcome to the show. Got.
We could be.
Well, I mean, we could, but I don't know.
As a unit.
I don't know too many people who would want to date a podcast. So,
And?
Some people are into, like, what is polyamorous lifestyles.
they're into whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, that toaster's looking pretty sexy.
What's it called with those people that fuck their own cars?
I don't know, Tyler. What do they call them?
I don't know. I saw it on the TV where this person that was like, I think it's True Life. They had like people that like has something weird.
Was he like?
I don't know. But I don't know. He was like making out with the car. I don't know. Probably put his
for
dick
like
in the tailpipe. I don't know.
Would that be like the back door and like the gas can? You know, the gas. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's get out of that topic. God.
So are you guys equating polygamists with people who fuck inanimate objects?
I don't know.
I think that you are.
I think we
I
need
think if
to.
you find that you rewind the show about a minute and a half to 2 minutes, you equated polygamists with people who will fuck
I think
inanimate
we've just
objects.
scared off any new listeners that we've gotten. But for those of you who are returning and sticking around, thank you very much. We appreciate it. As we're nearing episode 200, the big one, right around the corner. We'll be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So if you have any favorite moments from our past episodes, make sure you let us know about it, and we'll try and put together a little something, either at the end of episode 200, or sort of like how we did with episode 100. Put them, mix them in. So
Interspersed.
yes. So
episode
200 is exactly.
It's nothing but a clip.
It's
show.
It's 100. We just put it as 200.
Yes. So welcome to the show. We got going to talk about your feedback, dive into Raw, which a lot of fans seem to be unhappy with, hot topics and Q&A as well. So how you guys doing? You hanging in there?
A little tired.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have a good Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Laid back.
Got to play some video games. Had some fun playing each other in WWE 2K14.
2K50.
I am terrible at that game and rage quit. So, but yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun doing it. Be on the lookout for more of those as we'll be streaming on Twitch. So definitely make sure you check that out. Twitcher, right. Sure. So with that being said, let's dive on into some of the feedback that we got. First one's coming to us from 123MDF456. Saying, I don't think Cena's going to tap at Night of Champions. After the beating he took at SummerSlam, I expect a strong showing. Tapping out wouldn't really accomplish much for Lesnar, as Doug said, or for the fans. The people who already hate Cena would just boo louder, while the people who like Cena would probably feel sympathetic. Maybe a Cena tap to another superstar like Daniel Bryan, it would be a bigger deal. For me, the big Hogan heel turn moment of this generation was the streak ending. I'm sure I'll never forget that pissed off feeling I had for the rest of my life. So not too bad. So a lot of people, from what I saw, a lot of people were siding on, Doug with your opinion as well as yours, Tyler, which is totally fine. So yeah, so we'll have to see how it plays out at Night of Champions.
Clearly, I agree with them because they agreed with me. So.
Yes, they agree with you.
I don't know if I need to add anything other than that.
A man of the people. So, next bit of feedback we have is from Richard saying the leader of the C Nation has given everything to us, the WWE Universe. He will never tap out to Lesnar and will regain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and tie Ric Flair. Cena haters, you can't stand Cena, while the C Nation can't stand you. Word life, HLR, you can't stop Cena.
Completely honestly, I don't know if this guy's trolling or not. So.
Diehard fan or troll?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I like Cena more than most apparently, but yeah, I don't know if that guy is trolling or what.
So yeah, but thanks for the feedback. Regardless, we certainly appreciate.
Listening, man.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to check it out. That or you just saw the topic and commented right away. So either way, thanks for checking it out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So time to dive on into Raw. I didn't get to catch the first hour. I know, Tyler, you said you were unable to catch the first hour as well. So we'll kind of just, zoom through that unless, there's something big that Doug would like to, discuss. But it seemed for the most part like I was watching it and like I came in the second hour and I was not very entertained by this episode. There were just a lot of things that, just little things that I was nitpicking that I just wasn't really digging.
I gotta say something. I'm a little bit worried. I know Tyler is officially on the record as being burnt out, and I'm a little bit worried that you may be getting burnt out yourself.
No, I'm not getting burnt out. It's just I'd like to see a little bit better quality than what we saw this week. But for this week, I just I didn't have my timing right as far as stuff that I was doing.
Well, no. Like, I mean, shit happens. I mean, life gets in the way of your fun. I mean, like,
right.
That's not. You're like this. Because we were talking in the room as you were typing up the notes, and you're just like, this was a piece of shit, and I was like, I don't think it was that bad. But I mean, I guess maybe you're more in line with the general consensus this week of people sort of like hating the show. I mean, it was for sure uneventful, but I didn't think it was like this abysmal abomination. I don't know that people thought it was. I guess I don't know. I was just a little worried. I was like, guys, do we need to take a break or something?
No, I mean, I would just. I feel like they're putting too much negative things into the story. I think my biggest gripe is the whole Nikki Bella and Brie Bella segment, and that is just driving me insane. Like
I mean, from what I saw of Raw, like the only thing I disliked was the Bella stuff, but other than that, I mean, from what I saw, it was all right.
I mean, it
was for sure like there was nothing great on the show. I'm not arguing this was an awesome Raw that was like people are completely wrong about. I just thought it was your average Raw where nothing was too great but nothing was too shitty either.
I mean, I just felt like it was very mediocre. Like I feel like there wasn't really a whole lot of in the 2 hours that I watched. I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of story progression. The matches were unnecessary. I don't know. It's just it didn't. I mean, if they're trying to build towards this giant great rematch, they need to have a rest of the card to build towards, and I don't feel like they got enough accomplished this week to help progress those stories.
All right. Well, fair enough. I was a little worried.
No.
I was like, guys, we need to take a break or something.
No, I mean, like I was watching Raw and I was sitting next to my girlfriend and she's like, God, that this isn't any good. And she's watched a few episodes of Raw with me and stuff like that, and we've discussed it, and most of the time I'm like, yeah, they're just having an off night, but this one I was sitting there going, I wasn't enjoying myself. So
right on. I was a little worried, so I thought I'd bring it up.
So no worries, Doug.
I felt because I was prepared to be like, you guys want a break? I mean, you guys both feel like you want a break, and I was like, my only concern is if we took a break for a few weeks or something to let you guys recharge the batteries and escape. I was like, I'm a guy who listens to a lot of podcasts, and I know when like sometimes podcasts miss because like it's inevitable, like you can't miss it. But like when
when
people
get sick or out of town,
right? But like when podcasts start, like we need a break or we need to like we're just gonna like
we're just gonna recharge your batteries.
Right.
We'll be back. Don't worry. And in 2 weeks we'll be back. And then it's like
that's when it goes down.
3 months later. Yeah, we are coming back. Don't worry. We just got to take care of some. Well,
even if you come back, it's like once
no, we're not coming.
Once you miss one, like if you have a schedule as a podcast, once you miss one that is not a necessity to miss, it's like, well, we did it that one time. We can do it this time.
Yeah, it becomes more recurring.
It's like a snowball thing. Yeah.
It's like skipping out on gym day or something.
Right.
It's like
you're not going back.
I didn't have time. You know, I'm going back though. Don't worry. And then you're just like you're sitting at home. You've gained 20 pounds, and you're like, I better cancel my subscription to the gym. So
I don't go to the gym anymore. I just didn't tell them.
But no, like even if we completely stopped doing this podcast, I would still continue to watch Raw each and every week because that's what I did before the podcast. That's what I'm gonna do after the podcast.
Sure. I mean
so I like that we get to do this and voice our opinions on it.
Just a little worried. Yeah, a little worried, I guess.
Yeah, no worries. I'm still here with you. So we kick things off with a highlight reel with Chris Jericho, Triple H, Randy Orton, Kane, and Seth Rollins, all in suits, all suited up.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be just Jericho with Orton.
That's what you thought, but it turns out Triple H leading the pack. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I mean that's how it was set up, and Jericho kicked it off solo, calling out Orton, but they came out as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It was Jericho's doing the his babyface routine where he's like sort of like annoying on purpose. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's that guy, and that just doesn't.
Come on, baby!
Yeah, that just doesn't get over with me anymore. Like I'm at a different point in my life. Like I'm so far removed from where that could ever be effective for me.
Did he say "Welcome to Raw" is Jericho?
I mean, he did the greatest hit. He did the babyface greatest hits.
Shut the hell up.
He is the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Yeah, just generally sort of annoying, and unlikable. And I don't know. So the Authority came out en masse, and they sort of started arguing amongst. Not arguing. It didn't start as an argument amongst themselves, but they were sort of saying they were both saying how they would. How they should have a shot at Brock, or like, or a case for them to have a shot at Brock, and Rollins was pretty over. Of course, it was his hometown, so
home state,
home state, whatever,
Iowa,
but
Des Moines.
I thought, and of course, Cena came out to be like, what is this bullshit? And he's like, basically, Hunter was saying he didn't know if he was going to give Cena his rematch after all this. And Cena was like, what the fuck? That's my rematch. You've already granted it. You can't go back on it now. He's like, I'll sue you if you don't. And then I'll become COO, and then I'll give, whatever. Which, when he said that, I was like, well, that feels pretty whack for Cena to say. I was like, that's very un-Cena. Like, I don't know why, but.
Heel turns imminent!
Well, no, it's just, they used it, though. They used it in the storyline, which is why I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just very uncharacteristic of him. But then Hunter says, well, look, man, you're so shooken up by this, like you're threatening to do things like sue. That's not the John Cena like way or whatever. So it's fine. I thought it's an interesting way to maybe mix up his character a bit if they're gonna follow through with it. So I don't know. I guess it's sort of like where do they go from here?
Right.
I mean, not where do they go, but if they maintain that nuance in his character, or at least for the duration of this feud or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was sort of interesting, and there's also something that I was sort of bothered me is all the guys like Triple H basically granted Lesnar the shot, right? So like he remember the whole Plan B of when there was Plan C or whatever,
right?
But now he's acting as if like he has a problem, like he doesn't want Lesnar as the champ, like Lesnar's the Maverick, right? Like Lesnar doesn't.
I don't have him under my thumb, therefore he's a problem.
Right. So, but he knew that going in. Whenever he was it worth the risk to him just to have the title off Cena? I don't know. So the way they're talking about it's real weird. So, but he hasn't but there has been no interaction between Triple H and Lesnar to lead me to believe that Triple H has a problem with Lesnar as a champ right now. Like you have to show me. You can't just be.
So they just brought this out of nowhere.
Right. They didn't show or tell, really. They just sort of alluded to, like,
oh, by the way, guys.
Well, like, Kane was like, oh, I should get a shot. Orton's like, I never got my rematch from Mania or before Mania. And then Rollins was like, "Hey, Plan B, I got the case. Let me know." And it was real weird. Like, show me that you have a problem with Lesnar as champ if you're going to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Lesnar wreck all those fools.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he suddenly is looking to like push Lesnar out.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It was weird.
maybe it's because he's not on Raw every night. He's like, that's not best for business.
Well, I mean, but that's all stuff he would have been aware of when he granted him the shot.
Right.
So give me a little,
That's
show me a
strange.
little something of Triple H trying to interact, and then Lesnar just not playing ball. He's like,
basically, give me a reason why I feel this way.
just show me why you suddenly looking for people to beat him, right?
Right.
Because as of since Daniel Bryan, you're just looking for someone to beat all the champs. You're not happy with anybody so far.
Yeah.
And at least with Daniel Bryan and with Cena, they like made up a reason why he had a problem. So give me why you have a problem with Lesnar. Why are you looking for your guys to dethrone Lesnar?
Right. So I guess he just wants his guys to be on top, one of his guys or something. Who knows? But yeah. So also Roman Reigns came down after Orton called him out, saying I'll drop him where he stands or something along those lines. And that prompted a 6-man tag match to be the main event of Raw. So
I actually did like the. Excuse me. I actually did like the Roman Reigns stuff where he said Orton, like you said, Orton said, "Oh, he can come out here, I'll drop him where he stands," and then Roman just comes out and is like, "Here I am, drop me where I stand." I was like, I'm cool with that. Like,
Did he get on the mic and say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. So yeah. So I mean, it's an interesting way to start off Raw. We thought we were gonna get a Chris Jericho Randy Orton feud.
Who the fuck wanted that though?
Yeah.
That would have been so.
Fans do.
I was about to say someone out there.
That would have been so tired and uninspired.
Yeah. So next up we got to see a tag match featuring Cesaro and The Miz with Damian Sandow in his corner going up against Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus. Cesaro and Miz end up getting the win, but
I gotta say this was probably my favorite match of Raw. I really enjoyed this. Of course, you got Sheamus and Cesaro, and those guys are really excellent at what they do. So they're going to add to a match.
those are your stable mates there, Tyler.
Oh well, I retract. But in particular, I enjoyed Miz's work here, and I'm not going to come here and say look out for Miz. He's on the upswing. Like I'm not saying Miz is a great or even okay wrestler. I mean he is an okay wrestler. I'm not saying watch out, Miz is wrecking.
This
shop.
is his time to shine.
Right. He's not that good, but what they've done is they've found a way to shake up his character a bit and make that work to his advantage. So basically, it looks as if Sandow is like a part of his stable, or not stable, but Sandow's sort of like his stuntman / lackey / yes man. And I really like that spot for Sandow right now. He was very directionless, and I have no problem with him being here. I sort of like them together. I thought it came off really well. They had a little director's chair for Miz at ringside, and they had a makeup girl who was putting makeup on him, and there was real solid work from Sheamus and Cesaro and Ziggler, and then but the match was really about getting the Miz's new shit over, and it worked out really well because he's not just doing the "don't hit me in the face," although he's doing "don't hit me in the face" and he's finding more clever ways of doing "don't hit me in the face." He mixed it up. He did it about 3 different ways in the match, which is better than the "I'm just going to take a powder outside when you try to punch me." He did it a few unique ways, and they even worked it into the finish, or not to the finish. But
How did the Cesaro and Miz get along?
I mean, it was pretty much non-existent. Miz went out, sat in his chair, and was calling in Sandow as his stunt double, and Sandow's Sandow rips his shit off, and he's got the identical Miz tights on. So Sandow gets in.
Well, so that's something that you like because they're keeping it, they're not dropping it.
Yeah, I'm into this. That's what I'm saying. I'm into it. I think it's good for both of these guys because they've both been pretty still and directionless. But Sandow doesn't actually interfere. And it was really great because he's like action, and Sandow says action for himself, and he goes to get in, but he doesn't interrupt the match. But Ziggler starts attacking him, but he didn't do anything other than try to get in the ring, and then Miz comes from behind and hits the skull crushing finale on him for the W. So I like the finish. I like they're look, guys, I'm not trying to say Miz is hot shit. What I'm trying to tell you is that they found something that can work for him a lot better, that it's a little bit fresher than what he's been doing. They found a spot for Sandow, and I sort of enjoy like what they're doing. I'm eager to see where they take it.
He's not just coming out and going, really?
Yeah.
Really? Really? So,
Yeah.
it's something new.
To be completely honest, this is my favorite match of Raw, and it had a lot to do with, of course, Cesaro and Sheamus doing good work, but the story of the match was really about The Miz and like them getting the new gimmick over.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
We'll have to see how this continues to evolve. So Cesaro and Miz do end up getting the win. But next up, we got a segment called "Growing Up Bella." It's pre-taped segment where Nikki is just bad mouthing Brie, saying, "Oh, she."
They both got nose jobs. You can tell. They showed old photos of them. Their noses are much wider. And I'm not talking shit. I mean, do what makes you happy. I'm just saying it's like super apparent. Like they both have nose jobs.
No, they just grew into their body, and Nikki finally blossomed and kapow. So
I'm not saying they were. I'm not saying they weren't attractive girls before. I'm just saying
it's apparent that they've changed.
It's very apparent that they've got nose jobs.
So Doug, what were your thoughts on this Growing Up Bella segment? Because we had 3 of these over the course of Raw. I saw 2 of them, and I was like, what the hell am I watching?
Remind me, it was there was
a prom,
the car crash,
drop out of school, or she was going to fail or something.
Yeah, there was she stole her prom date. She took her exams to pass high school for her because she was going to fail, and then she switched driver's licenses and pretended to be Nikki when she crashed the car. Now, they're showing like real photos of them, and I don't know if like the crashed car was like actually their car or whatever.
They found it online, Google or something.
It could very well be stock photos, but
1989 car crash.
Right, but they had like prom pics and stuff, and I mean it was basically just the whole thing was she saying like she's outing Brie for all this like crazy stuff that she has done to her.
It was her fault that she didn't almost pass. She should be thankful to me. Because
it seemed like a little better though
for her.
I mean, it's still the cheesy acting, but it seemed a little.
Well, yeah, because it was pre-taped. It wasn't live. They probably had a person doing it line by line. So,
honestly, guys, I don't think this is for us. I mean, like, I mean, I'm happy to see like a women's spot get a prominent feature on the show. I don't know that we've ever seen this prominent of an angle.
Yeah.
As far as women go. And I think that's fantastic, but it's just like what the storyline consists of just doesn't appeal to me, like personally, and it does not help that they're not very good actresses.
That's the part that drives me nuts the most.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like they didn't sign up to be actresses. I mean, I'm sure people will shit talk their wrestling, but they're not necessarily here to be actresses. I mean,
yeah,
I think there is a difference between cutting a promo and acting. I think I don't think that's the same ballpark, but I think they're like asking a little bit more from them than just promos, which is sort of weird, and it's not good. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying like it's cool to see them donate time and resources to getting a women's angle over to this level, but I don't think it's I don't think it's supposed to be for us anyway. I mean, I think this is what they're hoping appeals to like a Total Divas audience that's going to turn in and see this. In all honesty, I mean,
I see where you're coming from, but like, it just seems way too soap opera-ish,
Sure.
Like, and I know that's
sort of how Total Divas is pretty soap opera-ish.
Yeah, and so I know that's some of the writers that they have do write for soap operas and stuff. So that's right up their alley. But it's just like the delivery for it is so bad that it just detracts me from having any interest whatsoever at all, because I don't know, like I said last week, and I said it on Twitter this week, I feel like they're just auditioning for a play, and it's, You
miss Kelly?
No! I don't miss her one bit, but that doesn't mean that I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I'm certainly not defending it as good. I'm just saying I have my suspicions about why it's playing out this way. And,
I mean, it's material for Total Divas.
Sure.
And that's what it is. That's all it is, That's why we get to
If
see
you
these
It's
notice-
going to be a major shakeup.
Tyler, I was thinking about this because they had another Divas match later in the Brie Nikki stuff wasn't a match, but they had like a tag or trios. I can't remember.
trios.
But if you notice, Tyler, I think this whole season, the whole angle is going to be all the pairs that were together are fighting each other because they split the Funkadactyls up between seasons and they split the Bellas up between seasons. So all the people who were close are going to be fighting amongst themselves.
I was going to say, who's going to be
So
close?
much drama
Guess
backstage.
what? Is Red and Gold going to be back together?
No, because they fought in the 6-person match.
Damn it. Then
So-
Rosa, she's going to be with
God.
someone.
So maybe they're going to mix it up. Like maybe one of the Funkadactyls is going to be best friends with one of the Bellas, and maybe the opposite will pair or something. I don't know.
We're going to have 2 buses. It's going to be separate, and no one can take shits.
Yeah. But I guess we can go ahead and talk about that, the Divas 6-woman match. I originally think that Rosa Mendez was hired just to be, valet. Yeah. Because I watched the matchup on YouTube, the very short matchup. It was like under 2 minutes for the whole thing that happened. And Rosa looked very green. Like this was her first match ever, it seemed.
I mean, it's definitely not, but like,
well, I mean,
I'm not defending her.
might be able to count on a hand,
Sure.
how many matches that she's had.
I know for sure she's been in a match before.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm thinking it wrong. I mean, I know she's. Who knows?
But I think she was hired strictly for valet. Go out there, support your guys, look good. But
They're probably going to ask. I mean, they're probably like, look, if you're going to do Total Divas, you're going to have to be more than just like.
yeah, we got to get you in the ring, and so we can show it in a highlight reel or something of
Right.
you in action. And so, like, the thing is, she's been on the roster for 5, maybe 6 years or so, give or take.
Sure.
Are they going to try and pass her off as new, as a veteran, as, oh, hey, I'm just new to the cast? Or
I don't think they'll take the time to establish her at all. Really.
she's just going to be
ma-
there?
Maybe once Total Divas
Hey,
rolls around.
I'm Rosa. I'm the new
Right.
new diva.
New blood. I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay. On Total Divas. I thought you meant on Raw or SmackDown or whatever.
No, for Total Diva.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know.
Oh. So weird. But
So
anyway.
are you turned off by the whole idea that they are producing content it feels like they're producing content that is shooting directly for an E-network audience to come in and check out Raw? Does that like turn you off altogether?
Yeah. I don't.
I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, I don't think it's like sexist or bullshit. I mean, it's kind of
Right.
like it's like that's not really what this is.
It's like you can tell when they're switching it off.
right.
It's like, oh, they're doing this for the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel because I know like not everything on the show is for everybody, and it
Right.
never has been really. I mean, there are segments of time where
Well,
it
Vinny's
has
for
been.
everybody.
It's just weird, right? Like I don't know. Like I don't know how I feel about it. Like I think it's cool that they're doing like a prominent women's angle. I just like it just doesn't appeal to me on any level. Like the
Right.
content of the angle. I don't know.
Angle
And I mean-
dangle.
And I mean, it's like you said, it's great that they're having a women's angle, this involved, getting this much attention, but they should have used different people for this. Like people who can go out and cut a promo.
But see,
know?
where I'm coming from, and even where I feel like you're coming from, is even if they were, you would feel better about it if you thought they were better actresses. Like, or
If they had better delivery to where I could buy into it a little bit,
Right.
I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure.
Okay.
I would have
But
I would have less of a problem.
I'm sort of talking about content wise. Do you feel like this is an angle that's just not for your demographic at all? Like, it's not trying to, which it isn't. It really isn't.
No.
So, but okay,
Bitter twin sisters and
Okay.
all that,
all right,
But like,
fair enough.
it's just, it's like when you watch a bad movie and you're like, I can't follow this because the acting is so bad.
Sharknado.
The CGI is so awful.
Right.
Like I can't get involved in this because I can't believe in it. It's just one of those things. You're just like sitting there, just God, what is this? But if they had, like we've said for weeks, the way that Stephanie can go out and portray herself and her delivery is so believable.
Well, it looks like they
more believable at least.
Sure. No, she's good at what she does. Yeah, for sure.
But then you put Nikki and Brie out there where they're like, "You were the one who did that to me, and I won't forgive you unless you quit."
So I guess
quit. Get out of here, and let me tell you something about you that you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not defending it. It's good.
I guess they tried to throw Stephanie in there to help the whole situation.
Well, what I felt like they did with Stephanie, did you feel like they planted a Stephanie AJ thing? Like they planted the seed for that, down the line? You could tell, like, this could be.
Because even backstage, Triple H was like, "Why would you want to get back in there? You know, you won your match. Don't do anything else."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I kind of want to go out there." And
I feel like I would not be surprised to see AJ Stephanie because they totally planted this. It seemed like totally intentional.
Hi, boss lady.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how I feel about mixing all of this.
Yeah,
it's like Bella's, AJ, and Paige.
I mean, more than likely where it's leading to for Night of Champions is either a Fatal 4-Way or a 5-person match with Stephanie involved. I don't know. Just throwing that out there as a wild card. Bitches. Yeehaw. Who knows? But yeah, so we did get to see Rosa, Cameron, and Eva versus Summer, Ray, Layla, and Naomi. This ended in no contest. After all, they all just pounced on one another and kicked the hell out of each other, and the match was thrown out. They did finisher and played the Total Divas theme song instead of one of the actual Divas theme songs. So yeah, all just to play for the show. Next up, we got to see Big Show and Mark Henry going up against Harper and Rowan. Replay of what happened, I believe, last week. So that's another one of the things that's starting to kind of bug me a little bit about the content that we're seeing. It's, they'll have a match on main event, and then they'll do the same match on SmackDown, and if that works, then they'll have it on Raw. So it's like you're seeing a lot of repetition here lately.
Sure, but I feel like they want everybody to watch all the shows, but I feel like
all they do is plug what happened on Raw on the other shows.
I think they would hope that everyone would watch every show, but I don't think the reality is that the majority of their audience watches every show. I don't think that's true. I mean, it's evident in the ratings. Like Raw clearly has a higher rating than others, so
yeah.
I don't know. So I feel like I don't know. Only guys like us who watch all the shows may feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but even from Raw to Raw, we're seeing a lot of repetition. We saw the same tag match that we saw last week with Big Show and Mark Henry and Harper and Rowan.
Yeah, but I feel like this is different, and it's actually something. First, okay, I wasn't feeling this particular match just because I feel like we've seen better from these two teams, and I especially expect a lot. I have high expectations for Mark Henry and for Luke Harper because I think both those guys are really fucking good at what they do.
Yeah.
So I felt I was a little disappointed that I didn't get what I want with those two guys. And but there's sort of there is that for sure some repetition. I'm not going to argue that, but particularly with these two teams and Mark Henry and Rusev, they're sort of layering this this build that they don't do too often, where it's usually they're like this guy is arguing or is feuding with this guy, so we're going to see that every week, or we're going to see him interfere in the other guy's match.
Yeah.
But it's exclusive to those two. But this is being much more presented like Mark Henry and Big Show are trying to do their thing as a tag team, and Rusev. Now Mark Henry did come out and be like tell him to shut up, whatever. But they never actually did anything. But they're sort of now Rusev's interfering in the tag matches, and it's not presented as if straightforward like Mark Henry and Rusev are going to feud. It's like it was presented as Mark Henry said, "Shut the fuck up, you're being stupid." And he went back about his business as a tag competitor, trying to further that, and then Rusev sort of. So it's like Mark Henry is doing his normal thing. It's not just like he didn't have tunnel vision on Rusev or whatever.
Right.
I sort of like that how they're sort of Rusev's.
It does have a different feel to it.
Right.
So now Rusev's like, "Oh, you want to say something to me? Well, I'm gonna mess with you."
Yeah, it's definitely been built a little differently than they've been doing things lately.
So, and then later on in the night when Rusev had his match and Mark Henry comes out, and talks back to him, And then later on, we see Mark Henry and Big Show talking. They're like, Big Show's like, hey, man, we got to stay focused on our thing. But, if you got to go and...
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, I'm not mad, but if you got to go do what you got to do, man,
right.
I'll be there to back you up. And Henry's like, no, man, this is something I got to do for me and my country and for America. So yeah, so I like what they're doing with Mark Henry. Seeing him pull sort of a double duty kind of thing, and I feel like
he's so fucking underrated. It's nice to see him like used so liberally. Like, it's like, oh, we're gonna use him twice. Like,
yeah, hey, why not?
Yeah.
So but yeah, so Big Show and Mark Henry end up defeating Harper and Rowan via disqualification after Rusev does come out and deliver a super kick to Mark Henry. So after that, we got to see one of those growing up Bella moments that everyone was so fond of. Then we got to see Paul Heyman come out and cut a promo on John Cena and Brock Lesnar. I don't think this was one of Paul Heyman's strongest promos. I know we have praised his work time and time again, but I didn't really get that vibe this time. It was more of sort of here's something to hold you off until we get closer to Night of Champions kind of thing. And he did it from the stage, so he didn't do it from the ring. So, I mean, nothing terrible, but not the best. So, after that, we got to see Jack Swagger with a returning Zeb Coulter, finally coming back, going up against Curtis Axel. He's going up against Curtis Axel. No Ryback, because Ryback is out.
So Swagger's a face, or he's trying to be a face?
He's, full-fledged face now, I guess.
I don't know about that.
I'm surprised how, even with the cheap heatness of using America, I'm still surprised how over he's managed to be even in defeat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's weird. I mean,
that
more
We
power
the
to
People
him.
thing is helping him more than anything.
I mean, it's totally cheap heat, but I mean, fuck, if it works, it works. I mean, it doesn't, you can't really.
So, but yeah, like I said, Ryback is out. He's going to be out for a while. He's having to have surgery.
Did you watch that video?
I did.
Did you think he was working, or do you think he was really drugged up?
With him, you never know.
Right. He's sort of a goofy dude.
He posted a video. He's in a hospital bed, and you can hear the doop, doop. You can hear the heart machine and all that, and he's got the tube in his nose, and he's got the cap on his head, which why you need it for a person who's bald is beyond me. But he's like, "Hey, WWE Universe, it's the big guy." He's telling people, I've been working injured the last few months, and unfortunately, it's taken its toll. I have to have, a procedure done. I'm going to be out for a while, but I'll be back, better than ever, And then he kind of fades off,
Well, yeah, he had some quirky line about how he's still going to be back for all the fans, and he's like the moms of the fans or something, and he's like. And then
they all love the big guy.
Right. He's like, the moms love the big guy. It was kind of quirky that made me feel like, did he just do up a little cute video before he was going to be out for a while? Or if he was really on the gas and they were like, I mean, not the steroid gas, the other knockout gas.
No, because I subscribed to his channel and went back and watched a video or two of his, and he's walking through Walmart and he's like, "Oh man, it's hot outside in Vegas, and man, I might need to go swimming. Oh, what's this?" And he turns the camera and it's like a WWE beach towel, and it's got Ryback. He's like, "Yep, they still love the big guy," and that's the end of the video. So he's got all kinds of stuff.
Well,
on there.
It was perfectly timed to where he passed out then. So I was like, he's got to be working, right?
Oh, he's out now. So
I don't know.
And who was filming it?
That shit is super fast though, because when I was about 7 or 8, I had my tonsils taken out, and when they put the fucking gas thing on me, they're like, okay, start counting backwards from 100 back to 1, and when you wake up, a balloon is going to be blown up, or no, not when you wake up. They said start counting backwards from 100 to 1. When you get to 1, there's going to be a balloon that's blown up. I'm like, okay. I was like, I remember getting to 95, and I was just like, that's the last thing I remember. So of course, an 8-year-old me is a lot smaller than Ryback, but I was out like a fucking light. So maybe so,
Well, I'm gonna go on the parts that
I think he was working.
He was working that part, but he was sincere in what he was saying as far as I'm gonna be out for a while. So kind of tough break for him, because Ryback was finally starting to get a good reaction from the crowd. And it's like, oh, now
he had that one night in Las Vegas that they He actually had to tell him to stop.
Stop cheering me. Everyone likes the big guy. There was another video on his YouTube page of him eating a Buffalo Wild Wings, the hot challenge, you know, the blazing wings challenge. And then like he's sitting there and there's like two other guys sitting around him. I guess they're like having a competition to see who can eat them first, like finish them. And you know, he's putting them away, and he finally finishes. He beats the other two guys. He's like, right back, you know. And out of nowhere, Curtis Axel just shows up. He's like, yeah, buddy, yeah. Nice. So check it out if you get the chance. It's pretty funny.
He's more charismatic than they ever let him show, like originally, and like sort of in hindsight, it feels like as it was happening, I felt like, well, I don't know where they could go with this guy right now, but sort of in hindsight, I feel like they missed the boat on the guy. You know, like
if they would let him do what he's doing on Twitter, on YouTube, and all that. On the you know network, on the program,
right,
he would definitely start getting a better reaction from the crowd. And that's one of the things that I feel like WWE isn't capitalizing on. Like they're having so many good moments that they're passing up on. You know, like the popularity of Cesaro leading up to the night after WrestleMania. Like that was a huge chance to capitalize on that. The Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston trio. That they had the chance to, you know, supposedly they only pumped the brakes on that. They haven't cut the brake line.
Right. Like it's coming, they just pump the brake.
Yeah, but like, you know, that got people talking like instantly. You know, there's just been so many things.
It's never been their strong suit. It's never been. It's at least, you know, recent memory serves to say that if you get over when you were not designed to be getting over, it's always a problem for you.
Right. And I don't understand why that is. Like, you know, if you're doing something to get a reaction,
capitalize on it.
Capitalize on it. Yeah, that's the main goal.
I guess that proves that they're going to do what they want to do.
I mean, pretty much, unless there's like a huge backlash like there was for Daniel Bryan, you know, you're not going to be getting.
And it's rare
stars.
It's rare that there's that one guy that everyone can rally behind. Yeah. So that's only going to bite him in the ass so often, you know?
Right.
Like, everyone loved Brian, from your fucking, like, dweeby internet fans to your little kids. Fucking everyone sort of united behind Brian because he was just that good, and he was just that, he felt so genuine, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that's not going to happen with, like, every other guy who they fail to capitalize on.
But, I mean, like, it's one of these things where, you know, wrestlers come and go. You know, everyone wants to be champion. Sometimes you can't do it. You know, that's just how the world is. There can only be one, you know, guy to hold the belt. So why not in that time capitalize on what you've got? You know, like people are always looking back. Oh, this was my favorite moment. Oh, this was it. You know, and it wasn't necessarily them being champion. Like, oh, your championship reign was, you know, unparalleled. That was the best part of your career. It was the, oh, I remember when you did this, or oh, I remember you did that. Like, I feel like this. You know, there comes opportunities every once in a while, and they just let it just fall away. And I feel like, you know, they're not going to be here forever. Why not let them capitalize on it for two or 3 months, however long it rides? Like when Zack Ryder was hugely over, and they gave him that run, but then they just cut the legs out.
Well, they took their sweet ass time let him have his 15 minutes. And they probably really didn't give him 15. They probably give him more like 7.
Yeah. But like, you know, for that time that he, you know, the emotion that the crowd had whenever he won the title, given it was in his hometown or his home state, you know, that was pure. That was pure emotion.
I was never as high on Zack Ryder or even a guy like Dolph Ziggler as most people are, but I still would say, like, if they're fucking over, they're fucking over. Like, you got to capitalize on it. Like,
I'm not saying, I'm not saying put the belt on the guy, but like, have him be on TV. Have him go out and be what got him over with the crowd.
Sure.
So, I don't know. They're just,
doesn't work that way.
I mean, if you're not in the cards of what they're playing, pack your bags and go home, because you ain't going to be doing that.
Or you can stay with the company and just really don't do too much.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Everyone, they keep saying, "Oh, Cesaro's going to be an up-and-comer guy. Just give him a little more time." Well, it's been 5 months since WrestleMania, and he's.
Yeah, I mean that's a total botch on their part. They totally fucked that up. They had a real good thing fall in their lap, and they just were like, "No, we're more invested in this other stuff."
The same thing with Bray Wyatt. Like, they had so much potential.
I felt like they had a plan for Wyatt. They just fucked it up. I think there's a difference between Cesaro got super fucking over, and they're like, "No, we're not interested in pulling the trigger on this." Wyatt they brought in with a plan. They just fucked the plan up, and then like, "We don't know what to do now," and then he just lost all his momentum.
Yeah.
I do think there's a difference. I feel like they had intentions to do big things with Wyatt. It just didn't catch on fire like they thought it would.
It's just sad to see like them cut the legs out from someone like that.
Sure.
In any situation, whether they dropped the ball or they just didn't pull the trigger. It's really sad to see because there could be so many entertaining moments, that the crowd would love, but they just don't do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Jack Swagger does end up defeating Curtis Axel. And during the match, Bo Dallas comes out and he sets up a few chairs and he calls some people up on the stage. And as soon as the match ends, Bo Dallas gets on the microphone and is like, "Hey, you won this match, but you let down so many other people. You remember the 18 million people that you let down, or however many." And he was like, "Here's 3 of the people that you let down. This guy, he's a farmer, and he bet some of his money. He bet a month's salary. Yeah, he bet some of his money that you were going to win, and you lost. And so he went double or nothing, and he lost again that you would win. And he ended up losing his entire farm. He bet the farm on you." So...
Like, who the fuck would put money on Jack Swagger?
What
No
cracked me up
Who's
was
betting money on something that's predetermined?
what cracked me up was the second guy. He's been deported or something like that, and you can see Jack Swagger's like, "Get out of here."
No, that was
That was
him and
Zeb. They're like, "Get the fuck out."
Yeah, Zeb. I mean,
They're like, "Good, get out of
Zeb.
here. We
Yeah,
don't
Zeb,
need
yeah.
you." So messed up.
Go back to Italy, motherfucker.
Wow. So
I'm not sure how I felt about it. Like, part of me was like, "This is a pretty fucking hokey," but part of me was like, "It's sort of interesting if Bo was gonna do the cult leader from the other side of the coin than Bray does. Like
God.
he's like those guys that like there's like self-improvement life guys like he is.
Yeah.
They're like people just waste all that money going to fucking seminars and stuff. So I thought they were gonna like build him an army like they did his brother, but like he's like the flip side of the cult, right? So,
Bray is the dark. He is the light.
Well, they're both. I mean, he's also a bad guy, but he's like the other. Like
he's
the
the
other
tinted light.
Right.
He's the black light.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little hokey, but I was like, it could be interesting if they try to make it like this huge following, like people like,
And people have been clamoring for like, let's see Bo and Bray interact. Like, what other way could you have it than having, my following versus your following?
Can you imagine like an army of like backwoods rednecks versus an army of like middle class like schlubs with like desk jobs who are unhappy with their life?
I'm a construction worker and I believe.
I'm thinking like I'm thinking like people who answer phones for a living or do like fucking.
I work at a call station and I believe.
Right, like
how can I direct your belief?
They've all got their khakis and their little fucking polo shirts on versus like your creepy rednecks.
Come out in khaki pants, white shirt and a tie,
sweater vest.
Sweater. Oh yeah, there you go. Just modern picture of middle class. So that would be pretty interesting.
Think like Mean Street Posse, but not as big as those dudes.
And no highlights.
Like skinny dudes and ladies.
All you have to do is believe. So
Yeah, cult versus cult. Book it, Vince.
And for the 2 weeks that feud would happen, it would be very entertaining. It'd get the world talking. So, next up we got to see Adam Rose going up against Gator Baby, Titus O'Neil, with Slater at ringside.
Look, this guy's lost everything.
Who?
Adam Rose.
Oh, yeah. The only thing that's over is his music now, I guess. His entrance.
He's totally a fucking heel. Like, he's like, his bunny even instigated that shit with Slater.
Yeah. I was thinking that. I'm like, dude.
I told you guys this dude's a fucking heel.
He's growing the facial hair, and he's,
I told you, like, it plays more naturally into being a heel, I thought. And it was totally like,
I'm just here to party.
Right. I sort of like this.
And trash your place.
I sort of like this because, I mean, it's in line of the whole Slater Gator dynamic. Of
You like it more because you were right.
Right about what?
About Adam Rose being heel.
Oh, well, I guess.
really like this.
Well, no, but I mean, like, I like this Slater Gator dynamic still of them, like, losing because they're not getting along or because they're, fucking each other up. Or more specifically, Slater's fucking Gator ever. But,
Gator.
I like how, I like when Titus does his bark, like, he has the little, like, the whiny bark or whatever.
And Titus kind of gave him that look like, what the hell are you doing? That's mine.
He was even laughing when the fucking, like, rabbit was, like, double-legged him and fucking went for some punches.
I did see one meme that made me chuckle. And it was a picture of, the back of the rabbit and Heath Slater standing there, arms out. And someone photoshopped a box of tricks in his hands. And he's like, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. And then in the next picture, it shows the rabbit, like, arm up, getting ready to punch him as he's on top of him. He's like, give me that fucking cereal. So,
I like Slater Gator a lot. I think they have potential. But it's sort of weird. I don't know. I don't know how far Slater was going to get when those couple of wins anyway. Like, I don't know what that was going to do for him. So I guess it's all for the best. But I like them together, though.
Yeah, they have good chemistry together. So
Titus fucking getting good, y'all. For real, he's getting good. He looks like skinny Mark Henry, not because he's also black, but he's like he knows
he's also bald.
Yeah, he looks fucking vicious. Like whenever he's
cut.
Well, not just like he's a buff dude, but he's fucking like when he does moves that look fucking nasty. Like just his backbreaker just looks fucking like he's trying to kill the dude. Like, and that's. I think we need more of that in pro wrestling, like dudes that look like they want to fuck people up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Titus O'Neil's getting good, man, for real.
I'd like to see more from Slater Gator. So, especially since Titus is on my stable team. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. So good stuff. But Adam Rose ends up getting the victory after a roll up because the bunny attacked Slater. So then we got another one of those growing up Bella segments, and then we got to see Rusev going up against Zack Ryder. This was just a quick little squash match. Rusev picks up the win, and then he is chased off by Mark Henry, who says, you're coming out running your mouth, and I've decided to open up an international Hall of Pain, and you're going to be the first inductee. So good stuff from Mark Henry.
Underrated promo. Most underrated promo in the business. Yeah. I'm sure.
Listen to my words, boy.
Why you running? Why you scared?
So,
bitch.
Next up, we got to see Stephanie McMahon come out, and she invites Nikki Bella out, saying, hey, congratulations, you get a Divas title shot. And Nikki's like, oh my God, all my dreams have come true. And then Brie comes out, and she's like, hey, we got unfinished business. And then AJ comes out, and then Paige comes out, and
it was weird.
Yeah, it was the delivery was just so bad. The situation was awkward. Nikki tries to get Brie to quit, and so she's like, I'll forgive you if you quit. So Brie starts to turn around like she's going to walk out, and Nikki just continues to berate her, and then Brie gives her a push, and that knocks her out.
Knocks them all out.
Knocks them all out, yeah. So the power of Brie, I guess, is unquestionably strong.
Brie mode.
So it was just painful. It was so painful to watch.
I don't know what they were trying to establish with, like, bringing them all. I guess they're hinting Fatal 4-Way or something.
Yeah. Some kind of match between them all. So, I don't know. Doug, what did you think about this?
What, like, specifically the Bellas part or the other stuff?
Well, I mean, the whole segment.
We kind of sort of talked about both sides of it, really.
Yeah.
The AJ Stephanie, like, playing the scene for that seemed sort of interesting, and the Bella stuff was the Bella stuff.
It was kind of funny that there was a chance to CM Punk for a little bit. If you just ignore that shit, it'll go away.
No, it won't.
Well, that segment, it did. They didn't pay no mind.
They do yes for Brie sometimes, too, but that feels less condescending than the CM Punk. CM Punk almost feels like they're like,
we still remember. Never forget.
To me, it feels like they're blaming her in like a way. I mean, like misguided blaming her and for some like weird way. to me, it feels like they're fucking with her, or they're like, it's their way of fucking with her. The
Yeah.
chance to pop. When they do Brie, it feels like it feels less like condescending. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it feels.
Yeah. I feel like it's more of just we still remember that he once wrestled for the company, and so we're gonna chant this at his wife because that's when we remember.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of sucks. I thought all those people like AJ anyway. Like, why is she only going to be remembered for, or why are you only like associating her with who her husband is? Like, if you like AJ, like fucking chant for AJ. Like, why does it matter who she's married to? I don't know.
Because people are stupid.
Yep. But which, by the way, speaking of CM Punk and AJ Lee, did you guys hear about the phone hacker that has been making headlines?
I saw something that said Punk tweet that picture and I'll block you or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the picture and I sort of like read it quickly and as I was doing other stuff and like, so give me the whole thing.
Okay. Basically, over the course of the weekend, over Labor Day weekend, there was a hacker who managed to get into the iCloud, for iPhones.
Okay.
He hacked a bunch of celebrities, posted their inappropriate pictures online.
Nudes.
Yes, Jennifer.
I saw
Lawrence.
something about
There was
that.
Jennifer Lawrence and a few others that.
Oh, so
that he
that's what
managed-
that was about.
Yes.
Okay.
And he also got into CM Punk's phone and posted pictures from the wedding that was on his phone. There was only, I think, 2 pictures, and there was, them standing together and them cutting the cake. And so apparently he didn't want those pictures posted, and so that's what the whole tweet was.
Sure.
If you send out this,
How did he
picture-
know who was gonna whatever? How would he know?
I guess he just saw it and people started bringing it up to him, and so.
Oh, he meant like anybody. If you tweet this at all,
Yeah,
I'm gonna block you
if I see this
from
being
you.
sent out and I get attached to it, you're instantly being blocked from me.
Okay, that makes more sense. I interpret in my stupid head was like he knew the person who had it, and if they tweeted he was gonna block. It's like just block the dude anyway. You know who
Yeah.
has it, but
No,
Okay.
but anyone who shared the picture, he would block.
right.
So I guess you just search CM Punk, and if it shows
Sure.
up, you just click on him and block him. So, but really,
Nothing risque. Just
No,
he just wanted his private shit to remain
right,
private. Okay.
exactly. So
Fair enough. I mean, hey, that's his right. I mean, he's
Yeah.
not in the public eye anymore,
Right.
or for the most part, not.
yeah, I mean he's doing his own thing.
No
so.
nudes, man.
No nudes. Yeah.
So who all got needs?
I like how you're pulling out your phone. No, I mean there were a few celebrities, and they have since, I believe, been taken down, and FBI is now investigating, and Apple has issued an apology and
Get some
fixed,
weird nude pictures,
fixed
man.
the glitch, and there was even one celebrity who said like I deleted those pictures like 2 or 3 years ago, so I don't know how they got them, but that's kind of creepy.
I don't know. As I say, with the internet and different phone, even if you delete it, it's still kind of
Yeah, there's always that. Is it really deleted, or
There was some weird, funky ones, like someone's like junk, like on someone's shoulder or something like that. That
What?
was weird.
Is that a new Vine idea?
It's probably a new Vine.
Oh
idea.
God.
We'll like stop motion, like you'll sit right there, and I'll teabag you this shoulder, and then we'll stop motion teabag to this shoulder, and we'll go like back and forth like a flicker, like.
Let's do it.
Oh God. Anything for fame, huh, Tyler?
Yeah.
So next matchup, going back into Raw. Next matchup, we got to see Goldust going up against Jimmy Uso. It wasn't a tag match because Jay Uso is selling the leg injury that he injured last week. They showed a recap of that as well. Goldust ends up getting the victory, and then
They try to apologize.
yeah, they tried to apologize, and the Usos were having none of that. Apparently, they tried to apologize on SmackDown and attacked the Usos. So,
Hills.
so they're like, we're not falling for that again. So screw you and your apology.
Give us the fucking cosmic key.
Yeah. So yeah, but Goldust ends up getting the victory, and then after the match, Stardust attacks Jay Uso, or that happened actually during the match, and that led to the end. Then they attack Jay Uso by Stardust using a chair to hit Jay Uso on the leg and have him screaming in agony and pain, and I don't know. What do you guys think about this this feud, the Golden Star versus Usos feud that's happening?
I'm not into it. I don't think this is the best they can offer us.
Yeah.
I don't like the Stardust thing at all.
I wonder if they're like, okay, Goldust was a success. Let's try to make that.
Goldust is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was like, I don't like the Stardust. I like him whenever he had the mustache.
Yeah.
So.
They were fine as is, just as Cody.
Mm-hmm.
They got cold because they took the titles off them. Not just took the titles off them, they took them off fucking TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought they were fine then. I'm not a big Cody Rhodes fan, but Goldust I think is fucking awesome. But they sort of cock blocked him. I don't know.
Yeah. So what can you do? But that takes us
Something.
Yeah, I know. So that takes us into the main event, 6-man tag match.
Holla.
John Cena, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho going up against Kane, Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton.
Tag me in.
This was another thing that I didn't like about Raw is that it was the moment when Jericho hits the code breaker on Seth Rollins and they cut to commercial as he's like starting to go for a pin. Like, I don't know. Like I said, there was just something about Raw that felt off. I was not standing the commentary. I could not take it. It was just, I don't know. Like I think I was just boiled over from the Nikki and Brie interactions that, I was just like, I'm done with the commentary. I can't take it, what they're saying. And then they go to commercial after, a quote finisher move. And so it's like, what are they doing? Like they're off their game tonight or something.
Well, I feel like there's two sides to that. I feel like, and I'm not saying this is you, but I'm saying I don't think that you can complain that a guy will take a powder and then they'll go to commercial like it's real obvious and set up, and then also complain the flip side of that is that if you want it to feel spontaneous and not feel like it's planned that when the guy rolls out they got a break, then you can't also.
Or they always
complain.
throw him out to the outside the ring. Oh,
Right.
time to go to commercial. Commercial.
Right. Then you can't also complain that something happens in the middle of the action because it's the flip side of the same argument.
Right. And that's
So,
true.
I don't know. Like, to me, I'd rather see the most amount of action as I can.
Right.
So, like, I don't have necessarily a problem when they do the obvious, like, I'm taking a powder and we're going to get a commercial.
Right. I don't know. It just feels like, I know, quote, back in the day, they would take breaks during a during a match. But I feel like they do it in every match now, with the exception of, like, the 2 or 3 minute squash match, diva match, or something like that. And that bothers me. Like, I know whenever it was Monday Night War or Raw is War and all that, they'd be like, folks, we got to take a commercial break. We apologize. We'll be right back. And, and they went into commercial. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like it. And I know that if I wanted to fix the problem, I could download the app and watch what happens and all that. But I don't know. I just don't like the whole second screen option. But I don't know.
I don't either.
It's just too distracting.
It
I want to watch her.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not down with trying to watch the app and the show at the same time.
Yeah. Like, you're just going to distract people even more from what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like, oh, that Raw wasn't too bad. But like, well, what happened? Oh, I don't know. I was watching my iPhone while I was trying to watch TV. So, it was nuts. But, at the end of the match, Cena was begging to be tagged in because Jericho's getting his ass handed to him. Finally gets tagged in, cleans house, gets ready to put everyone away, tags Roman Reigns in so that he can stare at Triple H saying, you're going to put me in the main event. I'll see Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions.
Bitch.
Roman Reigns gets the win. Faces win. Happy times. Yay. Close the show. So, anything to really take away from the matchup? No?
No. It was okay.
So, yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that Triple H and Stephanie were, ringside for this match.
Well, they said that he was going to reevaluate who the number one contender was, and that's the purpose of having them all in the same match, so you could watch them all.
Yeah.
Like from the highlight reel thing, that's what they said then, and then so that's why they
Gotcha.
were out there.
Okay.
We gotta get the title off Brock.
Yeah. So there you go. That's pretty much how we closed out Raw. There were a lot of bad things that there were a lot of things that I did not like, but there were a couple things that, you can still take away as a positive. So yeah.
I was fine with it. I thought it was uneventful, but not bad as much as I felt like I heard people saying it was.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how we close out Raw. Time to move on into some hot topics that we have. Apparently, it's been announced that Jerry Springer is set to appear on next week's Raw. Apparently, he's going to be doing some sort of interaction between Nikki and Brie Bella.
Don't care.
Yeah. So, yeah, you replaced Jerry
Not because of
Lawler
the Bellas.
with Jerry Springer.
And not because of the Bellas. I just don't care.
Yeah. So,
Jerry.
yeah. So, that's going to be interesting. They also invited an NFL player. I forget his first name, but it's something Smith.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I know you guys aren't. They
Don't know, don't care.
They invited him to come on Raw because he was cut
I
from
thought
the
he
team,
was gonna
and-
come or something.
Yeah, they invited him. They didn't
There's
say
this
he
guy.
was.
He's coming next week. I don't know. Who he is. I
But
don't care.
he's reportedly signing with the Dallas Cowboys, so don't really look forward to seeing him on there. Or don't anticipate it. I should word it differently.
I don't care about football. Like, and I'm not like talking shit about it. I'm just saying like
But,
that's not
your
a
thing.
draw for me to watch the show. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not watching the show because you're gonna have an NFL dude on.
and that's another thing that concerns me is like they had this wasn't the strongest Raw that they've ever that they've had in a while. They've had a lot better episodes in weeks past. Monday Night Raw not Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Football is starting next week, and that is their ratings killer. Like that, they beat Raw in the ratings every week.
It's not a factor for me though. Like because I'm never gonna watch Monday Night Football. There's not
Right.
No matter how think of the absolute worst Raw could be for you, and I'm watching and I'm watching that over football every fucking time.
Right.
So it's not a factor for me. So I don't know.
But there are a lot of male demographics that will switch over.
My thing is like when's the last time they were ever beating the NFL in ratings?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they need to come with a stronger game than they did this week. To keep people saying, "Oh, I need to keep checking in on what's going on over at Raw."
Like I totally don't give a fuck in the least.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna. I'm not like a flip back and forth, or I'm like it's on Raw and that's where it's gonna be till Raw's over. But told me from you like football and wrestling, so like it's never gonna fucking matter to me.
Well,
I don't understand
The thing for me is that I'm more exclusive to like one or two teams that I'll watch.
Yeah.
And so there's only going to be one or two games that I'll be switching over to on Monday night. I'm still going to be watching Raw every week, but when they go to commercial or if I'm not digging a certain match, I'll switch over and watch it, or I'll DVR Raw and watch it as well. So that's that's not going to be a big issue for me. But there have been a lot of people who have been craving football since it ended. Since the Super Bowl. So
see, me personally, I don't understand.
I mean, it's the same. They have the same passion for football as for wrestling.
I understand that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, me personally, is why are they concerned with how to? Because I don't feel like I understand people like football. I understand people like wrestling. I understand some people like football and wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're so. Is it only because of the time slot? Because they say all the time how they don't consider UFC competition. And me personally, I think there is a lot more possibility for a crossover between UFC and pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So why would you so blatantly disregard who I actually could reason that would be your competition, other than something that I don't feel like translates quite as well or at all for me? Really, is it just strictly time slot?
I would think so. Yes, I would think lower ratings looks bad for the shareholders. They want to get out. Like, hey, you guys aren't pulling your weight. 2 months ago you were pulling these numbers. Doesn't matter why. This week you're not pulling these numbers. Doesn't matter why. And so I mean that's all it is. When they had a low buy rate for a pay-per-view that they put on, that they built towards, they just blamed it on someone. They blamed it on The Miz. They blamed it on Daniel Bryan. So they're probably going to blame low ratings next week on someone else. It's just one of those things. Like it has nothing to do with the product, which they should still be giving people a reason to tune in.
Yeah, I'm not excusing like bad quality product. I'm just saying like for me, it doesn't matter, I don't get it. Other than I guess it's the same time slot, so that's why.
I mean, they both start at 7. They both run until about 10. After 10. So they're going head to head. So,
but have they ever beat them? And when's the last time it was even a thing?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know anything about football, but I swear I've heard people say that Monday Night Football is like the most watched show on TV, period.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the championship games, the Super Bowl is like right up there with the World Cup, like everyone in the world is watching. So,
not everybody.
Well, but
so if they can't beat it, then why are they my point is, like, if you can't beat it even when you bring your A game, why aren't you just what's the point? I mean,
they need to focus on maintaining their current viewers.
Sure, they should always be, not just because it's Monday Night Football season.
Right. Rather than, getting people to be like, okay, well, if you're bringing in, the problem that I'm having right now is that they're wanting to bring in a football player.
Don't care.
NFL's not going to call WWE saying, "Hey, can we get, Brock Lesnar? Can we get John Cena? Can we
they give all those fucking teams belts and shit all the time."
Exactly. But
again, I don't care. It doesn't matter fucking me,
but it's like, WWE's knocking on NFL's door, not the other way around.
Well, sure, if they're if they're the top dog, then they're not knocking on anybody's door.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just feel like they're going to need to bring a better game. Like, I don't think that this was enough to have people say, I'm okay skipping on Monday Night Football. My teams aren't playing, so I'll watch Raw. Other than that, it would be like, oh, football, yes, it's back. I'm gonna watch it with my buddies. We're gonna drink some beer and all that, So, I mean, football's a big deal here. So, anyway, but also taking place this Saturday, back to Hot Topics, Hurricane Pro going to be taking place. So if you're in the Southeast Texas, Southwest Louisiana, head on out to the Beaumont Civic Center. Come check it out. We might be out there as well, so good times for that. Also, Total Divas. I know. Yes, they did. Former WWE member Raj Singh, known as Jinder Mahal, will be at Hurricane Pro. So really cool stuff. So, and I know Tyler and Doug are excited about what's happening this Sunday. The return of Total Divas, Season 3.
It's going to be interesting. We'll see how it turns out.
Well, they've already sort of shown a little trailer-ish thing, and it seems like they have very current footage in there. Did you see that?
No.
It feels like...
They showed the Nikki attacking Brie at SummerSlam.
Right, yeah, that's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's very current. So they're answering you're too far behind. Possibly, maybe, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a sign of Daniel needs to watch it.
They complied with what Daniel wanted.
Yeah,
so they're considering you a viable viewer.
Well,
so
if you don't want to watch it by yourself, you got your girlfriend to watch it.
She'll watch it.
Yeah, you can watch it with her. Comfort her.
I'll comfort her other times. So
they're vying for your viewership, man.
That's fine. So with that being said, it's time to move into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question coming to us from Thomas Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Saying,
what was that?
It kind of went up on the end. So, son. So Thomas says, "Hey guys, been an interesting couple of days as I went to my first Comic-Con for 2 days during the weekend. It was awesome. Got a brand new
pictures with him and some ladies on Facebook.
Lady killer, dropping them panties. So saying today I got a brand new laptop after one of my older brothers, in a blast of frustration, slammed the screen of my last one.
The same brothers he was putting over a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. And he said he whacked it after it froze. My question to you guys is, do you have any siblings? And if so, what is some of the worst stuff they either did to you or you did to them when you were kids?
I do. I have a sister. I am the oldest. I just have one sister. She's 5 years younger than me.
Worst thing you ever did to her, or worst thing she ever did to you?
We're actually pretty chill. Like, we don't fight. Like, I think we're further enough away in age that we don't really fight a lot. I do remember, like, one time when I may have been like 12 and maybe she was like 7 or something. And she was like, I was trying to play basketball in the driveway, like shooting hoops, and she would kept rolling, like riding her bike in a circle underneath the thing. And I was getting really pissed off. And I threw the basketball. It was a pretty good shot. I mean, it was a dickhead thing to do, but I threw the basketball purposely to where it would lodge in between the seat and the back tire, and it did, and she like fucking like ate shit off of it. So that's probably the meanest thing I ever done to her.
Okay.
That's not too bad, actually. Though.
Yeah, considering what some siblings will do to each other.
We've never like
Never had that big
blow up. Yeah, we've never. It's just we've never been like close enough in age to have that kind of a thing, you know.
Okay, I totally understand that. How about you, Tyler?
I have a sister that's 4 years older than me, and
4 or 5.
when we were younger, she was a tomboy, so she didn't take any shit off anyone. But when I would give her like crap or anything like that, she would come after me and beat my ass.
She beat you?
There was like one time like I was running away from her and like I forgot I like ran to this room and like tried to jump the bed. She grabbed me, she got on top of me and just started wailing on me and stuff like that.
Damn.
But also I remember one time, I don't know what age I was and I don't know what age she was, but like I was just like I don't know what I was doing. I was just flailing my arms around, like kicking around. She was like,
makes sense. I can see that happening.
He was 22,
and she was laying on the floor, like her stomach's on the floor, and like she, I guess, she had her like
arms
over there. She was watching TV. I'm
propping
flailing
herself
my
up on
legs
her
around.
elbow.
I go whoop boom, and I kicked her right in the face.
What the hell?
I didn't even do it on purpose. Their glasses go flying, and she's like crying. She gets up, and then she started chasing me. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, interesting.
Wow,
so
kick you in the face.
She beat you up and you kicked her in the face. All right. I have an older sister, 6 years older, so we got 4, 5, and 6. Older sister, similar to Doug, we're too spaced out to really have any like, you know.
It's not like we're both teenagers at the same time.
Exactly.
We're like at each other's throats, or
right. You know, probably she never really did anything bad to me.
See, that I had to think really hard for that one. That was like the one thing that stuck out that I was a total dick about.
Like the one thing that I can think of that I did wrong to her was that like I told her crush that she liked her, that she liked him, and like that's it. I think that's all I can think of.
Like I used to like try to convince her like that, because you know there's that cartoon Doug like when we were younger, and I would like convince her that I got to like, because she was so much younger than me, I would be like, yeah, when you go to bed, like I get to go, they fly me in a plane to go record the thing.
That's awesome.
She was young enough to believe it. I mean, she was you know, she was like, no, but you could tell she was kind of like,
really, maybe. He's that Doug.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was another thing. She didn't do it like to be mean or anything, but when I was younger, apparently I don't remember this, but apparently I told my sister to flip me like a Ninja Turtle, and I don't know what she did, but
like
she flipped
monkey
me.
flip style, like.
I don't know exactly what happened, but it flipped and broke my collarbone.
Oh my god!
I don't remember you ever having a burden collarbone.
When I was like younger, they thought that they had to call CVS or whatever because they thought my parents were abusing me.
CPS, you mean?
CVS.
CVS is the pharmacy.
They call the pharmacy, and they're like, okay.
We prescribed some Advil.
The workers at CVS were like, we think this kid's being abused.
Why would they call us? I don't get it.
They're monkey flipping this poor kid like a ninja turtle.
So there you go, Thomas.
He's a lot closer in age to his brothers, right?
Yeah.
That's probably where all your fighting comes from, I think.
Mm-hmm. And why would he break your laptop?
That's fucked up. Listen, you were just putting those dudes over a couple weeks ago. I think you need to regulate on these fools.
Have a little chat with these guys. So thanks for the question. Next question coming to us from Junior saying, as wrestling fans, we receive criticism from the people around us for enjoying something that is quote unquote fake. What is your guys' response to whenever someone criticizes you for watching wrestling? Personally, I think it's a double standard, considering most people who criticize pro wrestling for being scripted and predetermined enjoy movies and TV shows themselves that are predetermined.
Really, no one really criticizes me because I watch wrestling.
No, that's cool.
I mean, I would say the same thing as that everything on TV is fake, but I'm not like a closeted fan or anything. I don't like hide it from people, but I also don't like go around saying, "Hey, everybody,
wrestling."
Yeah, but I don't know that people ever like call me out on it or anything.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I've had the discussions with a few people.
It's happened, but I don't know, like the way he's making it seem like it's a reoccurring
people
thing.
walk up and, hey, you watch that wrestling, that fake crap, when when I first started dating my girlfriend and we're like, hey, what are you into? She's like, I'm into UFC. What do you watch? I'm like, oh, I'm into wrestling. She's like, wrestling? That that
Did you
fake stuff.
The common thing is not just that people, they always feel like they need to like do you know that it's fake?
Yeah, they're like you I mean,
did you know that it's fake, right?
You know it's fake, right? And and
Like what?
And we had that discussion, and what I told her was like, I'm glad that you're talking to me about this rather than a casual wrestling fan who's like, shut up, so like, if they would blow up on her about it, she would be turned away. And I'm like, listen, there's a lot more to it than it just being fake. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of hard work to get what this is. It's years long of storytelling and character development. It's a male soap opera basically. It's an art form. It is very physically demanding on the people. Both in the ring and on the road. It takes a lot to mentally be away from family for as long as they are, And so I told her, I was like, if you sit down and watch it with me, I'll explain it to you. I'll show you some of the stuff that they don't want you to know. And, like whenever they're calling spots to one another. And, so we did. We sat down and she gave it a chance. She watched an episode or two with me and she's like, oh, I like this guy. Oh, I don't like this guy. And so I would explain.
She loves Brock Lesnar.
She hates Brock Lesnar. She loves Sheamus though. She likes Daniel Bryan. So, so I got to tell her, here's their character development. Here's how they've gotten to where they are. And she doesn't watch it every week, but she does. If we're laying in bed together or laying on the couch or something like that, she'll watch it with me. So yeah, I mean, I think if you take the time, if the person's willing to listen, you can sit there and explain it to them.
Well, it's a double-edged sword because just like all those, there's always those assholes that feel like they're enlightening you, like you do know that it's fake, right? There's also those really awful wrestling fans that give you that bad stigma too. Like the flip side is there are those fans out there, and you've sat next to them at shows, you've seen them in places. Yeah, those people like sort of
wrestling.
They sort of run it for the regular dudes like us, so it's too. I mean, there are assholes on both sides. Right?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like if you can sit down and explain it to them and be like, listen, the outcomes are predetermined, but there's only so much that you can really quote fake. Like whenever you're hitting someone with a chair, you're hitting them. So, they're falling on a mat, but the mat is only an inch thick. And underneath it is solid wood. So, they're landing on padding, but it's not very thick padding. And, it's just, it's a lot. So, if someone's willing to sit there and, let you explain it to them, that's what I did. And, my boss, I've made mention of it several times. My boss is a wrestling fan, so we get to talk about it. Whereas two other of my coworkers whose offices are right next to mine, they're not into it. And so, they'll ask me a question or two about it. How can you watch that? And I'm like, well, it's entertainment. It's everyone has their things.
I'm certainly not ashamed of being a wrestling fan, and I'm not closeted, but I understand where the stigma of the wrestling fan comes from because I've fucking seen it firsthand a million times.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Some of that is well earned.
I think if you're an educated fan, you understand what's happening, why it's happening, and you can explain it fairly well as to what's going on.
I don't even think you have to be like
good versus evil.
I don't even think you have to be like super knowledgeable. You just have to be like a normal, like regular person about it. You don't have to be like such a fucking.
Don't be a dick about it.
Be a fucking weirdo about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's the flip side. Like, say you have kids. Like, do you try to prolong? Hypothetical, you both have kids. I know neither of you do, but you try to prolong the how, like letting them like bask in the believing in it or what? Like
sort of like Christmas and
sort of
and all
when
that.
they have questions like how far do you go in explanation?
I wouldn't mind, like if they ask me, did he really punch him? And like, yeah, but they're working together.
Okay, here's my thing.
Okay. Daddy.
Daniel Jr. came out from school today. He's 6 years old, so that's kindergarten or something, right?
Somewhere around.
Let's say first grade.
First grade. Because my nephew is 6 and he started first grade. He's
Dad.
going up so fast.
Daddy, these people at school said wrestling is fake. Is it fake? How do you handle this?
That is a good question. That's a tough one.
Because I want him to believe for as long as he can, right?
Yeah.
Don't want
but
to
you
steal
also
it
don't
away
want
from
him to lose friends because of
right.
Oh, my daddy says it's real. Well.
You don't want to make him the weirdo out.
Show him the clip of that guy crying and say it's still real to me. Damn it!
You're gonna let a 6-year-old hear the word "damn it"?
Well,
what a
give it. Go ahead, Tyler. Step up to the plate.
No, I would let
Tyler.
For the longest time,
Tyler
I would
Jr.
let him, let him believe what he believes. Don't. I mean, I would. I don't know. I wouldn't want to tell him it's fake. Right then.
Turn it around on them. What do you think? And you can tell them, okay, well, let's.
I'd want him to believe, or her, probably him.
He or she.
Most likely him, but you know what I mean.
I'll be like, hey, go talk to your granddad about it. That's my dad.
Your dad's totally.
Yeah, he is. Like, oh no. But one time when Daniel Bryan and Kane will fight, like, oh no, Kane's going to win.
He can't beat that guy.
But, yeah, I would want them to believe for as long as they're able to believe, I think. Like, don't steal the magic away, right?
Yeah. That's tough. Especially if it's like my friends at school said it's fake and now they're outcasting me for it. And what should I tell them?
Fuck off.
Fuck those guys. You don't care about them.
The best story I ever heard.
We'll go make friends in the wrestling ring.
The best story I ever heard about this, I heard this guy saying he was at a show with his dad one time. And it was like old, I don't know. It had to be the 80s. I think it was like Tommy Rich or something. And the guy said that, or like it was like a street fight or something. And the guy, Tommy Rich, had like bled all over his t-shirt or something. And like in the match, and the guy's dad like got his hands on the shirt because it was like in the crowd or they were in front row or something.
Right.
And he said his dad held up the shirt to him with the blood on. He says, some people say this is fake, but it's like, does this look fake to you or whatever with like the blood all over?
Oh my God.
I think that's cool though. That's kind of like, I mean, I don't think.
That's a good father-son bonding moment, but
I don't think that's as like morbid as like, you're shocked to be. I don't think it's like. I think it's just like some people say this is fake, but is this like I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a little dark for my liking, but okay.
But we're not talking like 6 or 7 years old. I think the kid maybe a little bit older or something.
Okay. Gotcha.
I thought it was.
Or take him to a local wrestling show and see if you can introduce him.
Yeah, well, that's a
to
gamble. They may expose the business worse than anything you see on TV.
Yeah, that's true. So, I don't know. It's up in the air. But, yeah, like I said, if the person's willing to be up in the air as far as, hey, let me explain this to you, then I would say do that. But, I mean, that's what I try and do at least. So,
weigh in a lot. I would be really interested to know from the dads out there. That have kids that enjoy wrestling, how you've handled that situation, or even some hypotheticals, some maybe future dads, what you would do in that
right.
situation.
Yeah, that'd be good.
When do you tell them, and or how far do you go with it?
Yeah.
Or do you never tell them?
So,
it's fucking real, yo. What are you talking about?
It's still real to me, damn it. So, final question also coming to us from Junior saying, question 2, with the recent ongoing budget cuts, do you see WWE discontinuing to run shows and or live events in world-famous arenas like Madison Square Garden or Staples Center, which presumably can be expensive to rent?
No, I don't see that.
No.
I mean, like, even Madison Square Garden isn't, it's only like 15,000 or something, right? Or well, not 15,000, whatever. It's like not as big as, I think they can sell those places out. I mean, I think they do, right?
Yeah, I mean, they get their money back to be able to afford it, so.
Yeah. I can't see them not running there.
I mean, yeah, they're probably not going to come to Beaumont anytime soon, but which is kind of sad. But it depends on the market. The Northeast is always really popular for wrestling, so that that's always going to be a given. Anytime they go to Chicago, New York, Philly, somewhere like that, they're going to have a good crowd.
I think Madison Square Garden's only like 20,000 people or something.
Yeah.
It's like a basketball. Basketball arenas are different than like they're
it's
smaller.
like the Toyota Center,
right? And So the Staples Center, that's a basketball arena too, right? So it's like your 20,000 seat. Yeah. So I think they do fine in those buildings, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if it wasn't like worth it for them, they wouldn't be doing it.
Right. So there you go. So thank you for the questions. Make sure to submit your questions on our YouTube page, WNS Video, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Check us out on twitch.tv/WNS Podcast. We're doing live streaming on Wednesday and Thursday nights and occasional weekends as well. And subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're also on Stitcher, BeyondPod, Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
On Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. Tyler's at Tyler_Abear. He's making a mean face about me saying that. I don't give a fuck.
He's on the road to a million followers on Twitter.
Subscribers.
Tyler, ask me if I give a fuck that you're mad that I keep saying your Twitter that you're not using.
Do you give a fuck?
I don't give a fuck.
So there you go for the podcast crew. I am Daniel Heron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I don't give a fuck.
Because you're Doug. And yeah, so we'll catch you all next week.
I don't give a fuck.
Later.